Hi, sweet ones, and welcome to this week's episode of Embodied Divinity. Let's take a big, deep breath together as we settle in to this sacred space. And if it feels right, let yourself smile. Smiling does so much for our mind, body, and spirit. And if we can hold that smile as we breathe for 20 or so seconds, you're going to feel a shift in your energy field. Big deep breath as you're still smiling in through your nose, out through your mouth. I was talking to someone this weekend about showing up in my role as a light worker, a shadow worker, a mentor, a writer. And I've been on this journey for almost 13 years now. And they were talking to me about they've been here in this space with the online world and writing and mentoring for about 3 years now, and they were talking about how they were having a hard time showing up every day. And so whether you're a mom, a dad, a partner, an entrepreneur, a light worker, a writer, a 9 to 5 worker, whatever the role you play in a large portion of your daily life, whatever that is, today's message is for you. It's about how we continually move forward in alignment, but moving forward, not going through the motions, not simply getting by, not surviving, but really allowing yourself to feel passionate and inspired and excited about the day, no matter what it brings. Even if that day looks like a Netflix and binge day, how can you have more fun? And first and foremost, as I answered this sweet being's question, I said, I see everything I do, not just the writing, not the podcast, not the time I'm in front of a client, but everything I do as a service to humanity and to source. Because everything we experience is allowing the source conscious collective to evolve, to experience new ways of being, thinking, feeling, but also what we move through on an individual basis, what we heal through, what we find pleasure in, what we sink into, truly is a service to humanity as we all collectively evolve from one another's experiences. I also have this kind of affinity for adventure. My life was never boring. There was so much, there was trauma, there was violence, there was always something going on before I really sink into my deeper healing journey. There was always so much going on. And a lot of, if any of you have experienced trauma or have dealt with PTSD or CPTSD, you know that we are healing to be able to enjoy the pleasure and the joy in life, not necessarily to heal through our trauma, because we know how to handle the hypervigilance, even that excitement that we've learned to love from that so that we could survive that, right? And so I remember for about 2 years after I had really deeply healed and integrated a lot of my trauma, there I was no longer attracting drama or conflict or toxic relationships or abusive partners. And I remember being like, I can't do this. I am bored. My nervous system doesn't like to feel this way because my nervous system was so used to feeling all the excitement and the pain and all of the things that came with that kind of lifestyle. And so I was so itchy. I was like trying to get out of my skin and trying to move through it. And part of that healing journey was trying to allow the mundane to be sacred, to allow every single day in life to be an adventure. And I'm sitting with Source in meditation one day, and they show me this vision of how I can have more fun and really play with my passions rather than telling myself I was working or telling myself I was taking care of kids, but really play with my passions and allow it to be a mission. And for the last 5 years, I really got to do this. And so, whether it's sitting in front of you here, whether it's going to the grocery store with my kids or chatting with another mom at a soccer practice, I am on a divine mission and I let it be fun. I am here today in service to humanity, which brings me so much joy. My inner child almost feels like she's playing pretend. My higher self knows this is truly why we're here. I get to be here on this mission, speaking these words into the hearts of all who choose to hear it. I get to live in this sacred calling. When I write words, I am shifting the collective consciousness and I allow myself to feel that. When I go to the grocery store with my kids, sometimes we play pretend and we all speak in a different accent and we're talking about going to a local apothecary, or we'll write little notes on sticky notes and hand them out to strangers that are inspiring messages, or we'll pay for somebody's groceries, or we'll give away oracle cards, or we'll just sit down with a homeless man and bring him a warm meal or a cold cup of water and sit and visit and pray. And we allow every experience to be an adventure. When I'm sitting with another mom at a soccer practice, I'm deeply present. I'm on a mission for humanity. My mission is to sit next to this being, to let her voice be heard, to let her hear my voice, for us to bond over our boys, for us to offer each other advice. We are allowing Source to experience connection, or even sometimes harder conversations, whatever the situation may be. As you encounter it, you are in service to humanity. And if you are having a hard time, maybe in your role as a full time parent or a full time worker, or even just feeling burnt out in your own business, can you allow yourself to see the divine calling in it and see, by tuning into Source, how you can fill your cup more so that you can enjoy it? So that as you walk into the room with your kids in the morning, you are instantly filled with excitement for this role that you're playing. And can you let it be fun? Because I found that in every circumstance, whether we're working in a job we don't want, or playing a role that we feel burnt out in or unappreciated in, we always have choices. And you always have the option to come back to yourself, to fill yourself, to ground yourself. But then also, how am I perceiving this? A perspective change always changes the trajectory of your entire experience. If you see your role in your job, in your parenthood, in your entrepreneurship, if you see it as mundane and boring, then that's how you're going to feel every day as you approach it. If you feel yourself unappreciated and burnt out, then that's what you're going to continue to experience. And so, can you take a pause? Can you breathe life back into yourself? Can you smile? And this isn't about bypassing. If you are in this moment anyway, then life is perfectly happening for you. Life is happening for you. And so you get to choose how to respond to life happening for you. If you're truly feeling burnt out and anxious, and putting a smile on your face so that you can release those endorphins and start to feel calm in your body, or laying down with your kids for a tickle fight, or just saying the house gets to stay messy today, or I'm going to compliment everyone in my workplace today and see how it changes. If you cannot do that in this moment because you just feel all the feelings, then find joy also in feeling those feelings as you are shedding your tears, as you are stomping out your rage, as you are expressing your anxiety. Feel it fully, but don't let it define you, and don't let your brain continue to tell a story about it. The emotions and stories don't have to go hand in hand. You can feel the burnout, but when you sit there and say, I'm burnt out because this, and this, you're still living from the past. What the burnout really wants is to be felt and then refueled with rest and space. And then the next day, instead of focusing on anything that happened the day that you are feeling those feelings, start anew, brand new. The same thing with your rage or grief or anxiety. Find a space to feel it without attaching a story to it, because that keeps amplifying it. Our emotions simply want to be felt, and then they dissolve, and we get to make a conscious choice to think new thoughts about the circumstances that we are currently seeing. And then we get to move forward with that perspective or paradigm shift, with more passion, with more excitement. Being an only parent for the last 15 years, which means I am not only the full time financial support, but the full time emotional, fun, planning, chauffeur, all the supports. There's been so many periods. There was like so many years when I even felt resentment against my kids because I just felt so trapped and tired all the time. And my circumstance didn't change until I changed the way I was looking at it. I remember one night I was washing my daughter's hair when she was like 7 years old. She's almost 17 now. And I was so tired. And I had so much to do. And I was trying to build my business and do all of these things. And all of a sudden, I took a deep breath and I said a prayer and I just started to cry, because what I felt was this could be the last time that you get to wash her hair, because tomorrow she might want to do it herself. And I do that with my kids often. My son still asks me to tuck him in at night, and I am so grateful every time, even on my tiredest days, because it might be the last time that he wants me to tuck him in. And that's how I found gratitude for those moments and really sank into the presence of this moments. This could be the last time you guys hear my voice on this podcast. Not some doomsday way, not like something bad's going to happen, but maybe tomorrow, source says, shift, you're no longer doing this. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could, right? And so here, as I'm delivering this message, I'm here in my fullness. I am so deeply excited to be speaking to each and every one of you who's willing to listen today. And I know often you guys can feel my excitement and my passion and my rawness in my voice and my beingness. And that's only possible because when I walk into this room, the very first thing I tune into is the gratitude I get to fulfill this part of my mission today. And it's so fun and exciting. And when I'm cooking food in my kitchen, not only am I in gratitude for the food, but I get to prepare this beautiful food that nurtures my body. And I almost see it like manna in a video game of like, as I put this food in my body, my life force energy is activated again. And I feel it moving through my body. Right. And a lot of you might think that sounds like too much. But like, if you have a choice to just go through the motions in life or be excited and in gratitude, if life gets to be a playground for you, why wouldn't you choose to play, to have fun, to enjoy it? Because any moment things can shift so radically. And if all you've got to lose is your sense of mundaneness or boredness, then I say go all in with excitement and adventure and pleasure. Say yes to life happening for you. Let yourself sink into the perfection of life happening here and now. Breathe into it. Put a smile on your face. Roll your head back and let your belly laugh. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel yourself connected to the cosmos. Be here now with whatever emotions, sensations, experiences might arise. Let it be another part of your divine mission, of your game here in life. And let it mean everything. A lot of times when I talk about life being like a game or a video game, a lot of people disconnect from the realness, but it's all so real. We get to be here as these source conscious beings in these avatars, vessels, whatever you want to call them. We get to be here, this fragment of source consciousness here in this body. The experiences, the sensations are very real to our individual nature. And as we step out into the bigger whole, there's this limitless, this vastness, this untethered potential of expansion and play and pleasure and newness in every moment. And it is my hope that you get to experience that for at least a glimmer of every day, and soon it will evolve into the wholeness of your day until before you know it, you have a renewal on life, on your mission to humanity. Whether you're writing words or taking out the garbage, folding the laundry, or sitting down and having a deep conversation with your child, you are in service to humanity and to source. And that's such a beautiful thing. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here today. As always, breathe deep and plan on miracles. I'll see you next time.